Hello, my friends. My name is Evelyn Joy, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, feel free to subscribe to keep updated on this information as it comes out. Now, I have been specifically looking for an article that mentions VIPKID by name because I keep seeing articles talking about these Chinese bans that the Chinese government's just passed. They're usually talking about the top 3 companies that have been affected by the drop in profit, right? So what has happened is China has passed some laws. You see, currently, some people say it's unfair that, richer students have more of an advantage than poorer students, and possibly Chinese people, because of how much they're paying for tutoring in addition to schooling, that perhaps that's limiting them on wanting to have more kids. And China, that previously had a one-child policy, now are encouraging people to have 2 and even 3 children. And a lot of people aren't because of the cost of schooling. Some people in my comments have mentioned that a lot of families pay 1/3 of their income to private tutoring, and that is a very valid point. So they say, the people in my comments say that, the government's just trying to even the playing field here by not allowing parents to hire private tutors. Now, these bans have been on, the basic curriculum of academics in China, right? So they're banning any outside private for-profit tutoring group that covers the basics that they learn in school, so that kids would have an advantage on testing, kids would have an advantage in the future. Now, a little bit about Chinese culture. Chinese parents view their children as, their retirement plan. They invest in their child, hoping that in their old age, the belief and the perspective is that their children will take care of them. So if I invest in them and I pay for VIPKID classes, even though they're expensive, and they learn English, they'll get a better paying job, and they will in turn take care of me in my retirement. That is the cultural perspective, right? I think it's a good one. And so I've been specifically looking for an article that talks about what exactly is going to happen with VIPKID. I found an article. It was shared on Facebook. So I wanted to share this with you all. And in addition to what I mentioned in my other video, it looks like there are more bans coming out that are against foreign teachers and hiring teachers outside of the US. How exactly will that come to affecting us? We will find out with time, and possibly sooner rather than later. Maybe this week, who knows? Maybe months from now. But I'm going to read this article to you. And you'll have to excuse my pronunciation if there are Chinese names. I may not say it exactly right, and I apologize for that. I speak English and Spanish. I don't actually speak Chinese. All right, so China bans for-profit school tutoring and sweeping overhaul. And so you see it has a chart of the stocks of those top 3 companies: TAL Education, New Oriental Education, and Gaotu Tech Edu. And you can see how their stocks completely dropped off to negative numbers when all of these bans hit at July 22nd, right? So here we go. China bans for-profit school tutoring and sweeping overhaul. China unveiled a sweeping overhaul of its $100 billion education tech sector, banning companies that teach the school curriculum from making profits, raising capital, or going public. Beijing on Saturday published a plethora of regulations that together threaten to upend the sector and jeopardize billions of dollars in foreign investment. Companies that teach school subjects can no longer accept overseas investment, which could include capital from the offshore registered entities of Chinese firms, according to a notice released by the State Council. Those now in violation of that those now in violation of that rule must take steps to rectify the situation, the country's most powerful administrative authorities said without elaborating. Now, I'm hoping that VIPKID continuing classes after the ban has taken effect, I hope that this does not mean that VIPKID is going to be in trouble. In addition, listed firms will no longer be allowed to raise capital via stock markets to invest in business that teach classroom subjects. You know, English as a second language is one of the classroom subjects. Outright acquisitions are forbidden, and all vacation and weekend tutoring related to the school syllabus is now off limits. Regulations threatened to obliterate the outsized growth that made stock market darlings of TAL Education, New Oriental Education, and Technology Group, and Go2 Tech Ed Inc. They could also put the market largely out of reach of global investors. Education technology had emerged as one of the hottest investment plays in China in recent years, attracting billions from the likes of Tiger Global Management, Temasek Holdings, and SoftBank Group. Okay, we're coming up on what Bloomberg Intelligence says. Operating losses at New Oriental and TAL can only worsen over the next several years as China overhauls its tutorial industry. Cost cuts won't keep pace with revenue declines in the short term as the government, with the stated goal of lightening students' workload, banned for-profit tutoring, as well as holiday and weekend lessons. Click here to read the research. In a series of statements over the weekend, all the major education companies said they would comply with the new rules and support the decisions of the party. In a post on its official Weibo account, TAL said it would fully implement the party's education policy and strive to cultivate people's talents with all-around development of morality, intelligence, and physical health. The regulatory assault mirrors Beijing's border campaign against the growing heft of Chinese internet companies, from Didi Global to Alibaba Group Holding. It stems from a deeper backlash against the industry as excessive tutoring torments youths, burdens parents, and expensive fees and exacerbates inequalities in society. The out-of-school education industry has been severely hijacked by capital, according to a separate article posted on the site of the Ministry of Education that broke the nature of education as welfare. Once regarded as a surefire way of aspiring children and parents to get ahead, after-school tutoring is now viewed as an impediment to one of Xi Jinping's top priorities, boosting a declining birth rate. So his top priority is boosting a declining birth rate. That is so ironic. It's a stunning reversal of fortune for an industry that once boasted some of the fastest growth rates in the country. Alibaba, Tencent Holdings, and ByteDance. For those of you who don't know, Tencent is connected to VIPKID. And ByteDance were among the big names that have invested in a sector that had been expected to generate 491 billion yen, also known as $76 billion in revenue by 2024. Those lofty expectations groomed a generation of giant startups like Yuan Fundao and Zheng Bang. My apologies for my bad pronunciation of Chinese. Online education platforms attracted about 103 billion yen of capital in 2020 alone, according to iResearch. Okay. Devised and overseen by a dedicated branch set up just last month to regulate the industry, the rules unveiled Saturday were couched in general terms that could be applied broadly in common practices throughout the industry. The new regulations are focused on compulsory subjects, meaning critical material like math, science, and history. Classes for art and music mostly would not fall under the new restrictions. But here we go. Among other things, they also ban the teaching of foreign curriculums, tighten scrutiny over the import of textbooks, and forbid the hiring of foreign teachers outside of China. A curb that could have severe consequences for startups like VIPKID that specialize in overseas tutors. The government also ordered local authorities to tighten approvals for companies providing training on extracurriculum subjects. So even the extracurricular subjects, they're tightening the rules for. New regulations for China's education sector. Companies and institutions that teach the school curriculum must go non-profit. Such institutions cannot pursue IPOs or take foreign capital. Listed companies will be prohibited from issuing stock or raising money in capital markets to invest in school subjects, tutoring institutions, or acquiring their asset via stock or cash. Foreign firms are banned from acquiring or holding shares in school curriculum, tutoring institutions, or using VIEs to do so. Those already in violation need to rectify the situation. I don't know what they mean by this, but it sounds like companies that are continuing like VIPKID is right now might be in trouble. All vacation and holiday curriculum tutoring is off limits. All of it. Oh, that's interesting. Online tutoring and school curriculum teaching for kids below 6 years old is forbidden. Agencies cannot teach foreign curriculums or hire foreigners outside of China to teach. So listen, we can't, they're afraid that people are going to, since most of these regulations are for school-age kids from 6 to 18. They also put a ban on teaching kids under 6 years old. It's ultimately unclear how the government clampdown will turn out. Many believe Beijing won't seek to annihilate an industry that still plays an essential role in grooming its future workforce. For now, many investors may choose to err on the side of caution. The government's desire to assert control over the economy and one of its most valuable resources lies at the heart of recent regulatory clampdowns on online industries. Companies that operate as internet platforms that's us, have come in increasingly under scrutiny because of the realms of data they collect, stirring government concern over issues of privacy and security. I mean, that makes sense. Online tutoring agencies will also be forbidden from accepting pupils under the age of 6. To make up for the shortfall, China will improve the quality of state-run education services and make them free of charge. I think that's awesome, the council said. All regions can no longer approve new subject-based off-campus training institutions for students in the compulsory education stage, and existing subject-based training institutions are uniformly registered as nonprofit institutions, according to the State Council notice. All right. So, my friends, there you have it. There is an article explaining how this could decimate VIPKID and all of our jobs. I was hopeful that we could just work weekdays and just be banned from weekends and holidays. I was hopeful that maybe VIPKID could come out with a curriculum that is for adults instead of children, and we could just teach adults. Those things are still possibly on the table, but this ban of foreign teachers is making it sound like China doesn't want us to teach any of their people. And I mean, I can see why. Anyway, I thought I would share the information with you guys. We haven't heard official notice from VIPKID yet. They're probably still trying to figure out what they can do or what they need to do. That's all the information I have for now, folks. Feel free to like and subscribe and follow this channel for more updates as they can. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and tell me something in the comments. Say hey. All right, have a good day.